Hi, and welcome to Sixcess Stories. We are your hosts, Christina Gent.
And Eric Ozrowski.
And this is where we get to talk to our 6 Degrees members and have real conversations all about life and leadership and the power of meaningful connection. On today's episode, we have Sharon McCorkle, who is a business consultant at Venture Employer Solutions.
In this episode with Sharon, we talk about her parents' influence on being a professional and how that shaped her career path. We get into healthcare and the blind trust that we have in doctors and people of authority, and how the evolution of societal norms has evolved over the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years. We talk about food, travel, and get into a little bit about how the definition of hard work is changing, and a little bit on the AI topic.
Yeah, it was wonderful getting to sit down with Sharon, who we just love so much. She's been a huge supporter of 6 Degrees and everything that we've been doing, and she is the Connector of the Year for 2023. Right? 2023? That was the year? Yeah.
Facts.
Because she's a connector. She's a true connector at heart, and she's always really trying to support the people who are near and dear to her. So this was just a really lovely episode to dive a little bit deeper and really get to know her story and where things started. So please enjoy this episode of Sixcess Stories. So we start these with a check-in, just like we do with our groups.
Yeah.
And I think, what is 1 to 3 words to describe, since it's Friday, so what's 1 to 3 words to describe how this week went for each of us?
I love that. 1 to 3 words. Oh, busy. I mean, and when I say busy, I don't like to even use that word because it means so many different things, but we're in busy season.
Sure.
So I've taken on 2 additional projects. In addition to being an individual contributor, I've got a conference coming up in hospitality, so I'm working on that invite list and getting people to that event.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have another product that they need high-level account managers that have, worked in the enterprise world. So it's existing accounts. So not only will I be doing the prospecting, but then dealing with existing accounts for software that I've never really dealt with before.
Sure.
So I'm learning the new software.
Okay.
It's been fun. It's been exciting. And then, of course, the conference, which will be over in November, but then there's all the follow-up that you got to do. So
Sure.
I got 3 things that keep me very busy right now. I'm really excited for the rest of the year. I'm excited to see how our new team, I was telling Christina, my senior vice president is now over all of HCM for the East and the West Coast. So it's a lot of people for him, but we have managers under that. And I'm excited to see what we're able to do. We have a really supportive team, a really collaborative team, which you don't always see in this space, and just always checking in on each other. So I'm excited to see that we all stay together and really bond, and we can make this work at the end of the year, and then getting into January, having a really good year going into that. And grateful. Gratitude is everything, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to so many podcasts on that. I love Mel Robbins, and actually yesterday I was listening to her, and that is the one thing that really keeps us grounded.
Mm-hmm.
You can derail, and it's a choice. You can be really miserable when you get up in the morning, or you can choose to just, I'm grateful, I'm breathing, I'm going to get out of bed today, I'm going to get dressed and take a shower today. It's like the simple stuff. So yeah, I would say those are it. So what did I say? Busy, grateful, what was
And
the other?
excited.
And excited, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that. The one word is kind of similar to your excitement, but optimistic.
Yes.
I'm very optimistic. I feel like this week was full of just some really positive conversations.
Yeah.
We've got one big event coming up towards the end of the year that we're getting momentum on. So just optimistic for some things that we've been changing and working through these last few weeks. But I think it's I'm feeling that this week.
Yeah, and normally everybody gets tired this part of the year.
Yeah.
So to feel those positive things,
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah, I would say optimistic and energizing.
Yeah.
Energizing optimism would be the word.
That's awesome. I love to hear that. I think my word would be clarity. I've had some really great conversations this week. So both for the holiday party, definitely gained some clarity. We got to walk the space a little bit yesterday and iron out some ideas that we had. So that was really fun. And then I've had some one-on-one conversations with people that are very much in line with our bullseye of who we want to continue growing with. And even in one of the conversations, one person asked, well, I'm doing XYZ, so adding things to my plate. What if I plug in this person from my team? And I was very honest. And I said, this is for you.
Yeah.
You are the person. Like, I want you to be part of this. And to even be able to say that and say, I understand that person's probably amazing and you're the bullseye. You're the person that I really want to join this community and be part of it. That felt awesome.
Yeah.
And it felt great to be able to be at a point in our ownership of 6 Degrees to say, no, this is where we're at. These are the people.
And how cool to be able to do that and be able to say that. And you guys have grown so much from the first time that I met you, and things have evolved in all the right ways for you. So I'm excited that you're able to do that, because not everybody can.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it's just, well, it's a transaction. And this isn't. This is very intentional. And so I love that you're able to do that. It's very cool.
Yeah. It honestly, it's been a little bit of a shaky. It's been a scary year in terms of just financially because
you're trying to do so much more.
Well, that, and I mean, yeah, and then just being able to target like who we really want to be part of this. And so just some of the people that we've lost this year, great human beings. We always get sad to lose somebody because we know that we're not going to get to see them as much anymore.
Yeah.
It's just opening up some opportunities to just keep getting very, very clear for us. So that's been really helpful.
I love it.
So,
yeah. Think about all the new things you guys have done this year. I mean, if you had to list them out.
There's a lot. There's a lot evolution this year, for sure. And I think there was part for us of just, what do we want to do?
Right.
What if all we did was that? And part it was, so you've been to several of our dinners. Our dinners are one of our favorite things that we do. It's like, what if we did more things like the dinners?
The dinners are amazing.
And what if that's all we did?
Yeah.
And how do we do more of that? That was kind of halfway through this year. That was kind of the conversation. This podcast was part of that. Is like, we just want to spend time and get to know people at a deeper level. What are ways we can do that?
And what a great way to share it, because I know for me, I'm on podcasts a lot during the day because I work from home. It's quiet. Sometimes music isn't the thing. I like to listen.
Yeah.
So these are the things that I listen to. And what a better way, because there's people that I haven't met within the organization or within the groups that I haven't met yet. And what a great way to get to know them.
That was the whole goal, right? It's Eric and I know every single member, and most people know, I don't know, 20% of the membership, right? There's certain
maybe
people.
Even less.
There's certain people, like, I mean, you and Robbie are people who are very, very, very connected to pretty much the whole community. But still, there's definitely people that both of you still don't know.
Oh yeah.
So it's but most of the members, they know their group and maybe some people outside of that. So we were like, well, how can we help continue to expand
100%.
that for the members? So that's kind of how it all started.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's so great to have you on here, someone that's been with us for a minute.
I was telling Christina, I'm like, I've never done a podcast before. I'm not usually shy, but I did. I was like, do I have to wear like nice clothes? I mean, I work from home. If I could come in my pajamas, I would. I'm very excited to do this, just to be a part of it, especially for Six, because I think it's valuable. We got to get the word out there.
Yeah,
got to keep it growing.
So I want to go down your path a little bit of how you got to where you've got to. I know that the payroll piece is more of the last 5 years.
Yeah.
But take us back to the beginning, wherever the beginning starts for you.
The beginning. It's so funny. I mean, I'm guessing like career, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, so.
Well, I'd be interested even to go back further. I mean, because to me, I find it really fascinating to learn, like, what did your parents do? Did that have an influence?
Huge.
How did that guide someone or not guide someone, right? Because I feel like so often it's, well, my parents did this, so I want to do the opposite, right? You talk about this a lot, Eric. Or my parents did this, and I actually loved it, and so I followed in there. I took over the family business.
Yeah,
or
the family values. I mean, so I'll date myself without saying anything, but Leave It to Beaver was definitely that was like my family.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
my mom didn't work a day in her life. When she married my dad, they got pregnant right away with my brother, like honeymoon baby. And she was only 22. My dad was 25-ish. And I think they thought that was going to be the start of the family. But it was 7 years later before I came along, and she was getting ready to go back to work. I'm like, what are you going to do at that point? But that then the whole point was for her to stay at home. Being from San Francisco, both sides of the family, there was a lot of support. That was back in the day when families never left the area in which you grew up into. So everybody was in the city and from the city. So you had grandparents, aunts, uncles. And on my mother's side, she came from a family of, her grandmother had 9 children. And on my dad's side, he was in a family where one of his uncles that raised him had 13 kids.
Wow.
So bazillions of people. And we always had, really big family gatherings. But essentially what ended up happening, my father was the career person. He had been in the military. He had started law school, but then my brother came along. So it was family comes first. They always had jobs back then. There was no shortage, and he started in the insurance industry, actually banking, then insurance. And commercial lines, he was a chief examiner his whole life. He retired in the same role, well, obviously a lot more promoted, but his job is what dictated where we lived and the lifestyle that we had, and it was better and better each time. So when I was born in San Francisco. We moved out of the city when I was 3. So do I really remember it? No, but my brother does. And we lived in South City, which is right there by the airport.
Sure.
Family all over the place in many different areas of San Francisco and the peninsula. So that was when Santa Clara was being built up. It was nothing. It was orchards. It was very warm climate. So people that were coming from the city and had lived in the fog their whole life and very cold climates, that was attractive and it was affordable. So about a 45, 50-minute drive down the 101, we moved down to Santa Clara, which you would have thought that we were going to another state because nobody drove. Everybody did public transportation.
Right.
My mother didn't learn to drive until she had to, when she had my brother. She was 22.
Wow.
And to this day, and even when we move to different areas, will not drive on a freeway. That terrifies her. Yeah. So my father was always, the taxi, did everything. And then when we moved to Santa Clara too, because I think we only had one car, we did. My dad took the train into the city. That was still, public transportation was great back then. So Santa Clara became more of just a place where people were moving to. Silicon Valley was not even thought of at that point.
Sure.
So in fact, Marriott's Great America theme park was built right as we were moving out. So from the time I was 4 till the time I was 9, we lived in Santa Clara. My father's job then took over. It was promotions that he kept getting, and they kept wanting him to you either have to go to another state or you're going to have to take another job elsewhere. And so he always we almost moved to Arizona. And I think coming from San Francisco in cold weather, Arizona is it's just not a climate that you want to live in at first. That was definitely not, and my dad's like, I'm not going there. I'll find another job. So we ended up in Orange County next. And so we had just visited Disneyland for the first time. And, we drove everywhere, which I was like, why did we do things like that? But we did. With the big station wagon, my brother, we're 7 years apart. So there's definitely, he has his interests and I have mine. And
it's just the two of you?
Just the two of us. We were like a generation apart. I was completely an annoyance to him. Like, he didn't like me growing up. And he had friends that would come over that had sisters my age, and they'd be really nice to me, and it just completely annoyed him. So it was always, but he'd be nice to their sisters. So anyhow, we ended up moving to Orange County, and my dad was opening the office in Orange County, another insurance office, but then Pasadena also. So driving from Orange County to Pasadena and then having the local one. Then we vacationed in San Diego. and he needed to come open this office. So we moved here when I was 12. And the big deal was it's just like Santa Clara. And climate-wise was what people were saying. And yes and no. I mean, Northern California is so different from Southern California.
Yeah, the state is huge. Like
it's almost like two states, right?
It really is.
And that's when so my mom had delusions of, oh, it's going to be just like it, but it really wasn't. And the difference is, like I said, Northern California was people that stayed in that area. It's no longer that way. But people stayed there. Where San Diego is melting pot. We're a military town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lots of military families. And it was just different. People weren't going outside and knocking on doors. It was different. My mom had to adjust to that. She still maintained being a stay-at-home mom. And by that point, my brother was out of the house and he had gone into the military. So it was literally just me with my parents.
Oh, wow.
Which was good and bad, I guess, for somebody not having siblings in the house and immediate was hard. But I also got to see, because they took me everywhere. And when I say everywhere, business dinners, adult dinners. So I was...
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Everything. They didn't leave me with babysitters, ever. But that's my mother's paranoid side of, no, she can't stay. She comes with us. And I'm like, that was like torture to go to a nice business dinner when you're 12 or 13.
Like, what did you do? My
goodness.
My
God, it was so painful. And you're sitting there trying, you can't do anything. We didn't have phones back then. You literally just sat there.
Yeah, read a book.
No, you weren't allowed to have a book either.
So it was I call it the most painful experience in my life, because they're talking to you, but they're not really talking to you. They're talking at you.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, what do you do in school? And I'm like, there's only so many times that you can address school life and your friends and you're this and you're that. So I just learned to be very observant, and I absorbed a lot. So listening to the business conversations, I think led me to, I just want to go to work. Forget the rest of this stuff.
Yeah.
I just want to go make money.
Yeah.
And my mother, who never went to college, she's like, well, it's not for everybody. And of course, college to me was going to be fun, social, party.
Yeah.
They didn't have that in mind. It was going to be, you live at home and you go to school. And I was like, that's just like an extension of high school.
Yeah.
Who wants that?
Yeah.
Like, I wanted the experience. And so, again, they had a bubble. And it wasn't so much, I think, my dad. My mom really had the say in all of that. So she created the bubble for me. And so I lived at home. I did go to San Diego State, never really made it out. Shocker. It was 5 minutes from home. I lived in Del Cerro, grew up down there. And it was just like, I have to drive here every morning. I have to get up and get ready to go to school, just like I did for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And my high school was even farther away. My high school was what was University of San Diego High School, which is now Cathedral. But I had to carpool every day to get there. So it just got to be like, what am I doing? Didn't even know what I wanted to do.
Did you have a lot of people that you went to high school with also go to that school, or no? Okay, so you didn't have that. So because I actually went to community college for the first 2 years. The way that our town kind of worked is most of the high school went to this one place. So it literally was an extension of high school because I saw the same people.
Exactly.
But I got lucky where I was in a different district, so I could go to either one. And the other one was like, actually, it was a really good it was all the classes, whatever I took would transfer to most four-year universities.
Right.
It was just a better program. So I did that one. But so like I had a similar experience, but I didn't have the just like high school 2.0 where I'm seeing all of the same faces.
Right.
So at least you didn't have that part of it.
No. And my high school was so small. I think it was 150 graduates.
Okay.
But because it was considered, back then they called it a college prep school, a lot of them went to USD because it was right across the street. Many went out of state that had real big aspirations to do things differently.
Sure.
I think because I was so sheltered, I didn't really know the world that I had available to me.
I didn't know this was an option to come here because I
Oh my
probably
God.
to go to college in California
Literally.
from Chicago.
100%. Well, and so people typically in my graduating class went local, either UCSD, USD, or San Diego State. Now, and this goes to show you my mentality at the time. I got into Revelle at UCSD and I turned it down. My dad wanted me to drive. He wasn't going to pay for me to be on campus.
Sure.
And I'm like, that's even farther than uni. Are you kidding me? I'm not doing that in traffic every day. No. So it was just.
We're talking what, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
Oh, no, because we lived in Del Cerro
Okay.
by San Diego State.
Yeah.
All the way to La Jolla. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. I had a station wagon at the time.
Okay.
It was just not.
But it's still not
My
that
mom's
It's still
station.
not that far. Like,
I know, it's not that far.
Like, I'm sure at that age,
It's
that's
like
a whole nother world. Like,
it's
what are
like
you talking about?
yes,
I'm
and
just thinking, like, being here and saying, like, that, but that's still not that.
No.
It's like
and
a
so
half hour.
I really wanted to live on campus. I mean, who doesn't?
You wanted the
right?
You wanted the college.
Yeah,
I
the college
did.
experience.
We didn't even know it was a college experience back then. We just wanted to be out from under our parents.
Yeah.
And they knew better. They wanted to monitor me. And I was like, this is just not fun.
Isn't it funny how it's the opposite now?
Yeah. And then the fact that I couldn't wait for my kids to go to college.
Yeah.
Like, go experience everything I
get out.
didn't, and I will be there with you for every single moment.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure it's not really what they wanted, but I will never forget fast forwarding to their experience, or mainly Blake's. And I think it was his junior year, and we went out for Parents' Weekend like we always did. He said, this is the best holiday ever. I go, it's not a holiday. He's like, but it feels like it, you know, because everybody's there and we're all celebrating. And
Yeah.
it was an exhausting holiday. But I
Yeah.
do miss those days.
Sure.
And so I'm glad that they got to experience, and that I even got to experience it in a very different way. But yeah, I turned down things that, looking back, I went, wow, you were really stupid. There's that voice in the back of your head.
Sure.
And so what ultimately ended up happening was my parents were also like, you have to pay your own bills. You have to, and I'm like, not only am I living at home, but I got to pay for everything. So I was paying, you know, all my gas for a gas guzzler car back then, which I won't complain about how cheap it was compared to now. It's ridiculous. And so there was that. There was clothing. I had a phone in my room, so I paid the $30 for the phone in my room. I don't think there was a way to split out the TV, because I had a TV in my room. I didn't have to split that out. But it started being like, well, what am I going to do with myself? I need to get a job that makes money. And so from my dad's, he was a very big influence on what I did in the work world. So he's like, well, I think you should start in banking. And back then, banking was full training programs. I was working at SeaWorld at the time, and I was like, I do not want to work in food service at SeaWorld for the rest of my life.
Okay, so you were food service specifically at food
Oh,
service?
yeah. Trust me, that was, and I do think that every young person should have to work in food service at some point.
Yeah.
They're either going to love it and crush it, or they're going to be like, I will never do this again. They learn what their strengths are, right, from that. And I did learn what my strengths were. I could knock customer service out of the park. It's hard work. It's really hard work.
Yeah.
But I loved working at SeaWorld. It was fun. A lot of my friends from high school worked there, because at the time, SeaWorld was privately owned and owned by a gentleman who my father went to high school with in San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
And his kids went to high school with me. So small world. There were 4 of them. My dad and his brother, who ended up moving to Chicago with his family, and then the other 2, and those 2 boys moved down to San Diego. How odd was it after all these years? So everybody that we went to high school with, if you wanted to work at SeaWorld, you had a job at SeaWorld.
6 degrees of SeaWorld.
Yes. and it's, you know, and you talk about a fun place to work, because we could do night parties and make extra money, but I'm good, thank you. But you're also like, do I want to do this for the rest of my life? I didn't see myself going into management.
Yeah.
And so my dad really encouraged me. He happened to know somebody in banking. I'll never forget her name. Her name was Mrs. Barone. She worked for California First Bank.
Okay.
And he's like, call her. And talk about, I was only 19 probably, and just being thrown to the wolves. He goes, I'm not calling her for you. You need to get on the phone and call. And I'm, okay.
Wow.
What do you attribute your parents being like, well, you know, you're staying here to be close to school, but you're paying for all this stuff, and here's the job that you should go get, but I'm not doing it for you. Like, what was that them?
I think it was them wanting to make me independent. My father wanting to make me independent. My mother would have probably let me stay at home for the rest of my life.
Sure.
Because I was the youngest, only girl. just do what I do, you know. And things had changed. She got married at 22. There was no way people were getting married that early by the time I got out of high school, and really wasn't where I saw myself at that point. I just wanted to go enjoy life, have fun, make some money, and do good, right? Mm-hmm. But I think my dad definitely set me up for being more independent, and that was unheard of back then. Growing up with a brother who wasn't really around, I never had him to bounce things off of. He just was like, you'll figure it out. And he would kind of script me or give me ideas on what to say, but I learned very quickly, you know, how to prepare for interviews, for calls. Sure. And so, yeah, that's where my banking career started, was at California as a teller, and I hated it.
Well, you had you had the version of being an only child where, and Christina and I have talked about this, is like, I have a younger sister, we're a year apart. There were moments growing up where I had someone that I could go, Mom and Dad are crazy, right? You don't, as an only child, I don't have that interaction. I don't have that loop to kind of question things. Mm-hmm. I just kind of go, I don't know. The two adults are telling me what to do.
Yep.
Right.
And I think there's multiple times growing up where me and my sister would just kind of have the moments of like, this is insane.
Right.
Right?
There were days.
These are crazy people.
Because, you know, you compare yourself, obviously, to your peers, right?
Yeah.
And what I was seeing was, you know, my friends had really fun parents, and my mom just liked to clean the house, and she was perfectly content with that. And I was like, this isn't fun. I was not that. And she would never allow help. So it was like, I'm just going to sit here all day and watch? Yeah, no, that's just not fun.
So she didn't even want your help? Oh, wow.
She does now because she's 91.
Sure.
But no, I will tell you, she would accept my help. So in addition to going out to dinner parties and out to nice restaurants and stuff with my folks, they would have people over. And guess who did the dishes every night? I mean, and it was the china and the whole 9 yards. My mom is a very good cook. And, you know, I was like, oh my God, what? But as soon as dinner was over, I cleared the table, got everything out, served the dessert, did the dishes, cleaned up. That was my role.
Sorry. But are you a good cook? Would you describe yourself as a good cook?
I do. I was a little surprised when my kids gave me a different opinion. I was told I'm a better baker than I am a cook. But I love recipes. So following a recipe is more fun than just like having it in my head. Mm-hmm. So I like to do lots of different things. Maybe that's what they didn't like, was what is this that she made tonight?
Just like tinkering around with different stuff. Yeah. Did your mom have a recipe that she would like signature that she passed down?
I do all of her standard pork chops. I do meatloaf, meatballs. You know, it was basic. It was a meat, a starch, and a vegetable for dinner. That was our world. But she always knew how to like throw something together quickly, and so I'm pretty good at that.
Whatever you got.
What's in the freezer tonight? Let's just see what we have. I've not gone to the grocery store or something. So but she was not a baker, not at all. Okay. So I filled that role. So that's really where my cooking journey started, was on the baking side. Okay. And it wasn't until I probably moved out that I had to fend for myself and learned how to do all that. Yeah. I was like 23 when I finally moved out. It's embarrassing to say, but I was older when I moved out. And, you know, I was working full time. It was fast foods. It was quesadillas. I'm like, I need a microwave so I can make quesadillas. I mean, it was just the basics. Yeah. And it wasn't until I got older that I really enjoyed the cooking aspect of it.
Christina's, how old are you? She's on your 23 version of you, like in terms of cooking.
I mean, yeah.
If I'm not around, it's like mac and cheese.
Oh, and seeing that to me is my favorite. But I'm always like, don't do it. Just don't do it.
If it's for just me.
Same. I'm
fine with ramen noodles. Yeah. Like, I'm good.
I lived on cereal for years.
Cereal,
like, I love cereal.
Is the best.
Yep. I lived on it, and it was really hard, you know, once I met somebody, and I was like, oh, I can't eat cereal for dinner. And again, I guess I have to cook. You know?
To make something.
So it was, And
what's your favorite cereal?
Raisin Bran.
Raisin Bran?
What?
Crunch?
No. Yeah.
Or just
the
regular?
The crunch.
Okay.
The crunch.
You're obsessing over cereal, and Raisin Bran is your favorite?
I like to mix things. I like Raisin Bran.
Do you do two cereals together?
Sometimes.
When you mix? Yeah.
And then I do. So I like Honey Nut Cheerios.
Okay.
And then the Honey Nut Chex.
Oh,
together.
sure. That
Yeah.
sounds okay. No, but that sounds
That's amazing, right?
That sounds amazing.
And then I used to be a big Apple Jacks person.
okay,
Eat
okay.
that was like dessert. And
Well,
it's-
yeah, it is.
And
It's
then
just
So much sugar.
and then we grew up on Rice Krispies and Frosted Flakes, those two. And I could still eat a box of Frosted Flakes in one sitting.
Oh yeah,
It's just a refill.
I could
Like, let's just keep
probably
going.
do that too.
Sure. They're
yeah.
great.
Frosted
Yeah.
Flakes are so good. Yeah, my mom loved Frosted Flakes, so that one definitely was at our house quite a bit.
So what's your favorite?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so they actually discontinued Waffle Crisp. That was my jam. I loved it so much.
I remember that.
And
Blue
when
box.
Okay.
they, huh?
Blue box.
Blue box.
No,
right?
it's a yellow box.
Yellow box?
It's a yellow box, and it was like a reddish
What am I thinking of?
lettering of Waffle Crisp. When they got rid of that, I was really upset because I didn't even know it was going out,
Right.
or else I would have bought
Stocked up on
at
it?
least
Yeah,
5
like the
boxes,
whole Twinkie like
just to
thing.
go out on.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's like they're
That
going to
is
see it, and then
so-
someone loved it so much. Like, no, we're buying it. We're going to keep it going.
yeah, exactly.
I was like,
Well, and it's
Cinnamon
hard
Toast
because
Crunch was
they
my
always
favorite.
tell you that that's like the worst thing for you to eat, but it's
I
a
know.
go-to when I'm hungry. If there's
Cereal?
cereal, milk, I'm done. We're good.
I know, just the amount of sugar, which is hard.
Did you ever eat Fruit Loops?
Oh yeah,
course.
I love Fruit Loops.
yeah.
What else did I eat? Oh, and I loved Count Chocula.
Okay.
Do you remember that? It
Yeah.
was so bad for you with
Yeah.
all the little mini marshmallows
Yeah.
that were
Lucky Charms.
Yes. Oh God, so
Lucky
bad for you.
Charms. So good. You said Eric Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch
See,
is
it's
always a
funny
good one.
'cause-
Golden Grams.
That's what my-
Oh,
that's
Golden
what my
Grams,
kids like.
Golden Grams is really good too. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, for some reason, was like the only cereal that I was just did
So
not
good.
really care
You're
about.
crazy.
That's what my son
And
likes.
that's
If I would have known that when we met, we would not have gotten married. It's a deal breaker.
Now, do you guys
Whoops.
buy cereal though now, or do you stay
Not
away
very
from it?
Yeah, we don't really get it
No, I
that
stay away from
often.
it
for the
We
most
stay
part.
away from it. And then you did buy cereal in the most recent grocery run, and it was like
That's like
healthy-ish,
cereal.
like
Yeah.
healthy.
Which one was it?
It's like
The
kind of like
Trader
the version
Joe's.
of like Special K with
Yeah.
strawberries. Like,
I try, but it's then when I just am like, if I'm really gonna enjoy it, just do it. Go all in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't buy boxes of it because I used to always have a stash of.
yeah, no, I'll buy like
3 or
one-
4.
one or two at a time, and they last a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we don't really get into cereal much
Eat more
anymore.
oatmeal. I've gotten into oatmeal,
I love oatmeal.
and I like make it. It's
Do you make
it's-
it?
It's not even oatmeal by the time I'm done with it. It's like peanut butter and honey and granola and
That sounds
coconut,
amazing.
blueberries and some fruit. Like it's
That's like honestly probably one of my favorite things to eat for breakfast, especially on cold mornings
yeah.
or when I
it's
go to
kinda-
hotels.
It's become
it's
a
like-
go-to. I don't get oatmeal in public. I think it's a personal thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I eat oatmeal.
I like it. I
My
like it.
oatmeal is personal.
I don't order it from places. It's like no.
I
like,
love it in the hotels, especially if it's made right and it's
Yeah.
not yucky, obviously, but I could live on that stuff. Could live on that too. There was someone that I met years ago through one of the other networking groups, Crew Commercial Real Estate for Women, and she said it was her ritual every morning that she had to have oatmeal until she had kids, and then everything just went out the door. She's like, yeah, I don't get my oatmeal every
There's no
morning. It's
ritual-
just
there are no more rituals.
There's no more rituals. There's no more routines. Life is just different when that happens. But yeah,
Well, so your parents had kids early. When did you have kids?
late.
Yeah.
Married late, kids late. First one at 30. Why am I having such a hard time? 1, 2, 3. I was 34. And then the second one, I had just turned 37.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I was like, do we try for one more? But I believe in man to man being one per kid.
Man to man defense, not
yeah,
zone.
I was like, it was, and I had boys, and then you just don't know what you don't know how that's gonna work
Yeah.
out. But looking back now, I wish I had a girl to go shopping with, and
My sister's about to have a third. She'll have 3 under 5,
ooh,
and
that's
Yeah.
tough.
2 boys, 1 girl. She has a boy and a girl now, and she's having another boy.
Oof.
It sounds like a lot. I just talked to her the other day. She's like, Eric, I don't know when I'm gonna sleep.
again.
in the
You
next
don't.
few years.
No, you don't. And it's like I was like I said, I don't know if I've shared it with you, but I was really lucky on the sleep stuff.
Yeah.
Like that was what I stressed about the most because I love my sleep. I mean, I love my bed. I love going to bed. I love snuggling in my sheets. And so Blake was the first, and he was sleeping through the night by 7 weeks.
Wow.
So
You
that's
got
not
lucky.
hard.
Wow.
That's
You got
not hard.
lucky.
I got very lucky. He was a very easy child, easy baby. And so I was prepared for the second one to just be hell on wheels.
Sure.
Like, just, this is not going to be my fun time. Just get ready for it. And had him, he was late. He came late. We weren't sure why, because normally that's not the case. And that boy slept through the night from birth. Yeah. In the hospital.
What?
And they're like, you have to wake him up to feed him. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. He's a 9-pound baby. He's fine.
he can live off of that
He
for a
can
while.
live off that fat for a couple days. And
Wake him up to feed. No.
No.
He's
Oh, I
asleep.
feel like that's the hardest part is the sleep.
the sleep is the hardest part.
I feel like that's
yeah. And
everyone
so
I
I
talk
was
to.
very,
Very fortunate.
very fortunate. Even when I would have, sometimes my girlfriends would come over and we'd do scrapbooking or whatnot. And I would just like feed him and put him down in his little bouncy thing. And they all had kids too. They're like, does he just sleep there like that? And I'm like,
They're
yeah, he
what
does.
What kind of drugs
Enjoy.
are you giving him? The third one would have been a nightmare for sure.
See, that's what I was just like,
Definitely.
do I really want? And then they tell you the wives' tales of if you already have had, I don't know if it's wives' tale, if it's really truth. If you've already had 2 of the same sex, your third one is likely to be that same sex. And I was like, I don't really want 3 boys. So
Oh, that's interesting.
interesting, right?
Yeah. Now I want to like think of all the people that I know that have like there's 3 of them that start off with 2 of the same.
Yeah.
And then no, like that's
And there's ways now, I think, I don't know, there's so many different ways scientifically that you can try and predict that or figure that out. I don't know.
That's it.
well
Yeah.
at this point. For those who freeze their eggs,
Yes.
they can actually choose.
Yes.
Which is insane.
Right.
That's it. Actually, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, you can pick.
Yeah.
And they used
yeah.
to do, what was it? There was a
Like an
spinning
Easter egg, you can
process.
pick the egg and like, what's inside of the egg? It's like, I know. I can pick it.
Right. They can pick
Isn't
which
that
gender
crazy?
they want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, and I know somebody who actually, they had to do the freezing thing. So there was a boy and a girl. And they had one and then had the other. But technically they would be twins.
Oh, wow.
But they're a year apart.
That's also
Isn't that cool?
interesting.
Yeah, and they look so much alike. So much alike. But I think, people who do struggle with being, I didn't have it that way, but I know plenty of people that
Oh, yeah.
it's
Oh,
way
100%.
more common
way
than-
more
Then
common.
people know.
Then even it, I mean, I think in 2025, people are more open about it and share about it.
And they
but-
should.
But it's still more common than that. There's so many people that still don't talk about it, and it happens.
Well, I just feel sorry. Yeah. Before when people weren't talking about it, my mom being someone who
Yeah.
she tried to have another child after me and miscarried. And I think now because people actually talk about it more, there's support and there's, to be able to talk about, that's a huge loss for anyone who goes through that.
Oh, it's awful.
And so to have people to be able to relate to and talk to versus my mom had nobody to talk. She like that. It's almost like, what do I want to say? Like not frowned upon. Like it's almost like not good enough or whatever. Like
what's
the
wrong with
person,
you?
Yeah, what's wrong with you? You can't, right? All of these things that get put on people. So people would just hush and never tell anybody.
Do you think it has anything to do ethnicity? Like my mom's Italian, you don't talk about those things.
Yeah.
And she didn't get pregnant for 7 years. So that was definitely like, what is wrong with you?
Wow.
And there was no testing back in those days to
Sure.
try and fit. You just weren't going to get pregnant. That's
Well,
it.
yeah, and there's so many people and so many religions and
Yes.
of just like, this is your job.
Yeah.
Like as a
Yeah.
husband, wife is to
Yeah.
reproduce, like as a human.
Yeah.
Like,
Well-
and so I'm not good at the thing that is my quote unquote purpose in life.
Right.
That's a label that
And
can
it
be
wasn't
really
like
hard
she
to
didn't
shake.
want them.
Right.
And I want to say, you know what? Because I don't think there was birth control back then.
Yeah.
My brother, 67 years old, 68. Yeah, there wasn't. Because I remember my mom going through that massive mess too. And I was like, wow, okay. And so I'm kind of glad I bypassed all that. And historically too, women just didn't talk about that stuff. And I know men obviously didn't either. And women, I don't think, talked about it with their spouses at the, like,
Yeah.
Right. Like they would hide.
Well, though,
they'd hide it,
even
yeah.
the weight for the two of you as women, you have something growing inside of you for 9 months. Like,
Yeah.
that's such a different experience than.
And you know what? Going through it, I didn't see it that way. But now, because there is more out there, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's very true. It's really quite different than what anybody can ever experience. And then seeing so many people have, when they do miscarry, it's so difficult. I was lucky enough not to have to go through that, but I can't imagine what that is like. And then having to grieve that whole process.
It would, yeah.
It's really hard.
And it's really common.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's really,
so
really common.
So common.
Well, so much of the lack of research that has been done for women in healthcare. There's so much that's just now happening. It's insanity. I don't even really know, because I haven't really gone through a whole lot at this point. So I haven't really even researched that much, because, like, my knock on wood, I've been healthy enough that I haven't really needed much. But there's just so many things that when I talk to others who have gone through different illnesses, cancers, anything, they're like, well, yeah, they only just started researching this within the last however many years. I'm like, wait a second. If this was a thing that was happening to men, it would have been researched immediately.
Yeah.
It's
well, I
wild.
think they thought of it more as it's a natural process, right? It's supposed to happen, and if it doesn't, it just doesn't. But it's really hard to accept that if you want that. You know what I'm saying? And then when you do get it, and then to go through that whole process of miscarriage, I just can't imagine what it's like. It's one thing to do it early on and have it that, but when you are close to delivering and you have to go through that process anyway, it's losing a whole life that you never had the chance to really meet and know.
Yeah, it'd be tough. I mean, to the women's health thing, I don't know the time of it, but I know early there were a lot more deaths during pregnancy. Yeah. And the main reason that changed is because doctors were required to wash their hands. It was as simple as, like, and they refused in the beginning, and it was a
that's insane.
Yeah.
Like, that's honestly,
I don't know what year it was,
so
but
wild.
Gonna have to research that one, because it's true.
It's true. It like that. That is. I've seen multiple things on it, but there was a shift in the industry where doctors didn't wash their hands while delivering
a child.
Yeah.
Well, it's wild that. So we put so much trust in someone like a doctor, right? Like, so much trust. And yet, I mean, I'm following somebody right now who's going through breast cancer and is being very open about it. And she has a platform. She has a following. So she's just
I think we follow the same person.
Okay, Katie Thurston.
Yes.
Yeah. So
amazing.
So amazing. And just so much knowledge that she is sharing. And one of the biggest things is, advocate for yourself and stand up for yourself and have a voice in that office, because there's just so much that's not right. Like, there was something recently that she posted that was people being dismissed, of being like, this is like not feeling right or something. I'm uneasy about it. And people would write it off as, oh no, it's fine. It's probably XYZ. So then she was like, well, tell them, okay, then just write it in my charts. Write it in my charts that I asked for this thing and you have denied it.
Yep.
And I want to see you write it down. And then everything freaking changes. And they go, oh, okay, maybe I should send you to the specialist and I should do the test and do all the things.
They don't want to be liable.
Exactly. Nope. I mean, how smart, though. That's just things that most people in that setting get very like, oh, okay, you're right and I'm wrong, or I don't know because you're the expert.
You're so right. Well, that's what everybody says is, just follow it, because you got to, I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but follow the science. They know what they're talking about. They're experts. But my brother had a really interesting thought on this too. Speaking of traditional medicine, or what they call Western medicine, he said, don't forget, they're in the practice of medicine. So you're the one that they're practicing on. It's no different than when you pick up a skill or something that you do. In the beginning, you're not as good at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why nobody wants to have the brand new doctors, because they just don't know enough yet. They haven't experienced it. Where you're more comfortable is they've gotten older, but not too old, because when they're too old, they won't remember what they did. And so just like when you pick up a skill, the more you do it, the better you are at it. But oftentimes, and what I've seen with the advocacy side, especially in older people, they don't advocate because they think it's, well, they know what they're doing. It's like, no, they don't, not always. So it is so smart to advocate for yourself in that role for anything. Like, no, I want to have this done. Because if I don't, what happens if this doesn't go the way it was supposed to go? But so I totally agree with that. And also exploring other options, you know, especially for cancer. I have so many friends that are survivors, went through the whole breast cancer thing and couldn't handle the traditional treatments. And they went different routes, blood cleaning. What you put in your body is so important. Your diet is so important to how your body reacts to things. So there was that. And then also just a really healthy lifestyle. So many people are not drinking anymore. I think it's amazing. I don't know that I could do it, but I think it's really amazing people doing that. And they notice such a big difference. One of the teachers at my kid's high school has been sober now for 2 years, just did it. He goes, I feel so good.
Yeah.
And I do think it is as we get older, because we notice we don't recover quite as well after a night of drinking, as you start going, well, do I really want to feel like that, you know?
Right.
And not everybody can control it. So I've seen a big shift in that, in people not consuming as much, and then having mocktails when we go out, or different options for people like that. So I think it's cool.
Yeah. I do Sober October every
Do
year.
you?
Yeah. So I've
I
been
didn't know
doing it
that.
for about 10 years.
Yeah?
Every year. And every year it's a little bit closer of like, what if I just keep going?
Yeah.
What if and so this year when we're recording this, I'm 2 weeks in.
2
It's
weeks
always this time of year of like 2 weeks I really notice the difference, and
Do you?
I feel it. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm even like I'm in a different rhythm of sleeping and waking up. That
I
usually,
do notice a big thing with the sleep.
and that resets after about 2 weeks for
Really?
me. So yeah, this is I feel the healthiest I've been in a while,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's kind of like when my parents, speaking of them again, they were big smokers, because everybody in San Francisco smoked.
Well, that
And it was that era.
time. Yeah,
That
I was
era,
like, that
everybody
era,
smoked.
everyone smoked.
Yeah. And so they would always give up smoking during Lent. And I'm like, can't you just give it up? I mean, the house always smelled.
Yeah.
The cars always smelled. And I was
Do it
always
for 40 days. Just keep
Ugh,
going.
just keep going, like, for goodness sake. And then finally they did, because you know, we were living, the lifestyle here is healthier, or at least at the time was, than Northern California, just a super healthier lifestyle. And they quit cold turkey. That's what they called it back then.
My
I guess.
grandma did that after basically
My grandma did too.
65 years
Yes.
of smoking.
I'm just not going to do it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I don't know that I could give some. I mean, I can't give up a cocktail. You know, I want to have a cocktail.
I
on a
love,
Friday
and that's.
night.
I mean, that's the. I love drinking. I love.
Yeah, it's a social thing.
Well, it's a social part of it, but I love what goes.
Me
Everything
too.
that goes into
Yeah,
it.
the ingredients, the taste.
The taste. There's so much to it.
There's an experience to it.
Yeah, and for me, it's the social aspect. I think the biggest thing that I notice when I'm not drinking is there's been multiple times already, like this month, where like, ooh, I would love to just have a drink right now. That'd be
Yep.
But what I realize is when things are going, so alcohol for me, I learned this a long time ago. It's gasoline for however I'm feeling. So if I'm feeling really good, it's gonna make me feel better.
Good. Okay.
And then if I'm not feeling really good, it'll make me feel worse. But what I've realized more recently is if I'm feeling really good, I have a really kind of a self-sabotage thing where I'll almost drink too much to make myself feel bad because I'm too high.
Yeah.
Things are going too well, and then I get in this really bad cycle of now it's 3 days later and I'm like regretting and like living in the past about some of the stuff that
Right.
And so the last 2 weeks of like I haven't had that at all, and it's like,
had
oh
it.
wow, look at this.
Wow.
Why am I making things so much harder than they need to be? Alcohol is actually part of that.
It definitely is, you know, and it's especially when you go to college, and even though I didn't like finish it out, it was a very big part of my life because I was working in corporate. And back in those days, you could have alcohol in your offices.
Sure.
So it was, there was a bar in everybody's office,
Yeah.
especially in a bank. And so
Well,
I got very used to that.
I haven't really thought of this, but like now everyone works from home, and it's actually the same thing potentially if that is an addiction, and if I have that need or right, it's available. I don't know that how many. I haven't really heard a bunch of people like, oh yeah, like have my bottle of whiskey like in the drawer in my home office or whatever.
I'm actually curious now that you've mentioned that. It's something I've always seen more in TV shows and movies and like whatever. Mad Men. I've never seen Mad Men, but it's like the big corporate office, and it's the CEO, and he has the bar cart, usually the whiskeys,
always,
and the decanter, and it's like there's always like the joke of him like pouring something at 10 a.m. and the person who's in there is like, it's 10 a.m. and he's like, drink it, right? So that whole kind of like thing that's played out in so many different scenarios, and I have yet to ever see anything like that in real life. Is that something that in a different era was that actually happening? Like, was that something?
Well, you also haven't had a corporate job.
No, I've never had a
you
corporate.
Would have had a chance to be. Yeah,
it didn't happen in the mornings. I mean, that I knew of. But keep in mind too, there were offices with doors on them, and there were cubicles, but it was more common to have. You could lock somebody out if you wanted to. Sure. So if people were drinking, unless they were alcoholics, you didn't always know it.
Yeah.
But towards the end of the day, it was totally common. And now, I will be honest, there's been a shift of it because you have all these great office spaces, right? One of the jobs that I did have the opportunity to work in was office furniture and space planning and doing all this. Well, guess what's the first thing that goes in the offices now? Wine, beer, kegs. We had wine always available. So at the end of the day, if we wanted to drink while we were still working, we could. And this was less than 10 years ago. And then at first when I started there, it was a keg, and then people were getting burnt out on the beer side of it. So we put in, it was cold brew, and then they did kombucha. I think it's becoming more popular as they're wanting to entice people to come back to the office, to offer the snacks and all the good stuff that you get, which, don't get me wrong, it's super fun. You can gain a lot of weight on it. But also, if you are working late and you want to order food in and have a glass of wine or whatever, I haven't seen full bars these days. I do see a lot of that. And they use it for social hour. You know, if they're going to have like a happy hour, they don't have to go out someplace. They can do it right there in the office. Maybe that's a little bit safer than going someplace. It's certainly less expensive.
Who was I talking to where they basically had to put like a limit on the keg?
I did.
Well, they had to put a timer on it. Like
it's like you can't pour it after 5:30 or whatever.
Or before 4.
Yeah, because you don't want the liability associated with that.
Exactly.
And they have office spaces where they have that, and I just always been able to just kind of, I'll do this or I won't do that. But I could see people definitely tipping into it a little bit too much. I'm going to go to the office on a Saturday, drink all the proceeds that are there. So it's great. Yeah, a lot of the companies in that space had that, and it was to showcase obviously the really cool environments that they were creating to give that employee experience, which I'm all about. I definitely partook in it at certain times whenever I needed to.
It's definitely a nice perk. Alcohol is just such an interesting thing to me because like it's of all the drugs I could do, it's one of the worst, right? And it's just socially acceptable. But like it's literally poison for my brain,
1,000%,
and for my body, right? And so even like I said, every year, like this time of year, I start feeling really good, and I typically kind of slowly get into like, well, just like a glass of wine, and tend to ease back in because I do enjoy. It's more of just it's less, and I think to your point, like I'm not. Well, but the hard part is, Christine and I both share this. Was like when we're having fun, and the good time gates are open.
Me too.
I want to keep the good time gates open, and so one drink turns into 3, turns into 5, turns into 6 Catahillos at the end of dinner.
At the end of the night, I think I had 5 that night. That was so great. Honestly, that was probably one of my favorite nights. I still talk about it, and not just the food experience and the people that were there, but getting introduced to a Catahillo and just loving it and embracing the moment. And I didn't feel bad the next day.
Well, that's the part for me is like I don't like the rigidness of like I don't do that, and I feel like I can control it enough. It's the times where I kind of let if I'm paying enough attention, it's not a problem. And I don't see it, but it's when if I do the math, it's like, well, we went out before, that
And I
added
had
up,
that,
and I had
and
that. I forgot about that.
Yep.
And it's like, but if I just do like 1 or 2, it's fine. And
So-
as long as that's not every night, we're good. But it gets into, I get into waves of kind of doing
And a pattern.
doing it more.
Yeah.
Like if I kind of like looked at if it was a month or 30 days, and it's like, well, half of those I was drinking something. Or more, right? Because it's just the nature of what we do. Like we're
Yes.
out a
Right.
lot, and I think the recommended amount of alcohol is like 2 drinks a week.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that is what it is,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
It's like that's a Tuesday.
I was just going to say that's a Tuesday, right? Yeah. Talk about the rest of the week.
One of the things that's really piqued my interest about GLP-1s is they have been saying that it actually helps even curb the want for another drink, right? And so that's part of where I've thought about, okay, so maintaining weight and all of that, great. And is that a solution for people who do struggle with, okay, I just want to keep drinking and I want to drink on this night, right? Or is it, no, like after I have a glass of wine, I genuinely don't want another one, right? Because of this thing. And so that has been some really, really fascinating data that has been coming out about GLP-1s that
no one thought of that side effect.
Right.
I don't think.
No, I don't think so either.
So I do the GLP-1s.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So full disclosure, I don't hide it at all.
Yeah.
Because I had gotten to a point where I wasn't able to lose the weight and it was really bothering me. And so, I talked to my doctor. She's like, oh, yeah, I have many, women. And she's a women's doctor. And she was happy to let you try it. And it gets rid of the food noise. That's the good news, right? The constant need to, I'm at home. There's lots of food in the pantry. Let's go snack for a while. Mm-hmm. But it does curb your appetite for alcohol.
Really?
Yeah, like I could have sucked that down by now. And yes, it totally does.
That's, honestly, that's amazing.
Really good for a lot of people
for
that
so
really
many
struggle
people,
with it. I agree with you.
100%.
And it has obviously made me healthier because I don't drink as much as I even used to. Not that I was a daily drinker, but I would say there was a point in my life when the kids were younger and I had wine every night, at least 2 glasses with dinner. Mm-hmm. Well, I can't do that anymore. There's no way. Other people that I've talked to who are on it have said that too, that it just kind of, you can walk away from it, no problem.
Wow.
And be done. So for people that do struggle, I hope that is something that they use it for so many different things now that I'm hearing about. I had no idea. And I thought, oh, okay, there was one other thing that they were using it for. And it's escaping me. If I remember it, I'll toss it out there. But it does get rid of, I was just talking to a friend about it recently. I go, do you not really need to drink anymore? And she's like, yeah, it's really gone away, really curbed. And so, especially wine has so much sugar in it. I love my wine, not gonna lie. But I noticed the sugar in that is crazy high, especially American made wines.
Right.
So I learned a lot about that doing a wine tasting recently too. And I was like, guess I should be doing the wines from Spain and not the wines that are American made because all the sugar that's in them. So yes, it does work that way.
Yeah. Yeah. That's honestly like more and more lately I've said, maybe we try that one out. Maybe we see if that's a good solution.
And there's other, you don't have to go full blown on it because what I've been seeing now is, and I've talked to a couple of ladies that have done microdosing, which is actually just allows you to keep a maintenance of it. And I don't know what companies use it or anything along those lines, but check out microdosing as well because it's a little bit different. It just keeps it very steady, but it's very, very small doses, more on a daily basis versus a weekly or however often you actually do choose to take it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I've talked to so many people now in our lives that are on a GLP-1 and everyone at this point has been giving me really great reviews on it and have had great experiences. And so,
there's so many options out there now besides going with the brand, which are the most expensive. Yeah. Which I hope that changes because some people really need that. Their body just reacts to things differently. And so I really hope that changes and insurance providers start providing a little bit more along those lines. But
well, that's a big thing in the employee like benefit world.
It
right?
is
like next year, like there's a lot of the rate increases
Right.
are tied to, well, this thing is happening and we need to somehow account for it because it wasn't really, these are drugs that weren't being used or weren't as commonly as they are. Right?
Yeah, and now it's so common, and that's why so many, like there's a couple of companies that do pills now too as well.
Wow.
My cousin's son works for one actually, and there was another one that I just saw through the feed because it listens to everything I say and it just seems to pop up. And so I think there's going to be more and more options for it. At least I hope so. Because I think originally most of those were started for people that had diabetes and they were severely overweight. And it's not just that, because some people just really struggle, and I can definitely attest to so many of the moms that I know that went through menopause, and that weight thing is just awful. And you're like, what happened? When did my metabolism, go in the tank? It doesn't matter how much you work out or what you do, even what you put in your body, it's just, it doesn't work the way it used to.
Yeah. I can see that for sure. I guess I don't know enough about, so you said there's a pill now. How is it administered?
It's usually a
Daily.
shot, right?
It's usually a shot. So when you go with the name brand ones, they'll give you an auto inject, which is the easiest way to do it, especially for people who don't like to do syringes and needles. But you can also go off market or off brand, and through a variety of different places that you can get the subcutaneous injections. But now there is, according to what I've been seeing and a couple of the companies that are providing it, there's pills that operate in the same function. So it's not going to be that brand or that, but it operates in the same way.
Interesting.
And I'd be curious to try it and see what the difference was. Absolutely.
Are there any concerns for you with side effects at all?
And I'm not one that takes medicine a whole lot either. So it's like kind of goes against what I like to do and what I don't do. So, but I was like, you know what, I just can't deal with the weight. So we're just going to do this. I have not had any. Now, whether or not that's because I'm using the brand, some people say that they suffer with severe nausea. Haven't had that.
Sure. I guess long term though, like the stuff that
I don't know.
Like you're just like it's doing the thing that I need to do right now, and that's what's most important for me.
I think that's what we all look at, right? Especially when we get to that point. Like, don't get me. There's definitely supplements you can take. What's the one? Berberine, which is an appetite suppressant. But if those aren't working, and there's only so many options you have.
Sure.
God, if I could have a garden in my backyard and be clean eating all day, life would be great.
Right.
We had that growing up in Santa Clara. Once we moved here and my parents had a busy life and I was in school, that all went. But I see more people having gardens now and doing that. And so I think that's another big change that will help people significantly. It's just processed food and all that stuff is not good for what we put in our body. And we're a world of convenience. I'll be the first to admit that I go down that road all the time.
Yeah.
It's something, I think 40% of all produce in grocery stores is thrown out. That's a lot. That's almost half. Half of all produce.
No, it's insane, and so much of
crazy. The waste is nuts.
What we consume and everything. I mean, even so, we joked about it earlier about me not cooking, but what I do try and do is more on the meal prep side, because what the habits that we'll fall into, and especially if we've gone to a happy hour and we have had a drink, is, well, now I definitely we're not in a mood, he's not in the mood to make any food, and and now it's already 7 p.m. and all these things start to stack up against us as far as what is even available to eat at that time. And so, okay, great, well, can I do meal preps that are at least somewhat healthy? There's protein in it and whatever. But the task of even making enough of all of that type of food to have it now stored for the rest of the week, that's my whole Sunday. If I do it, and I do it for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and do the whole thing, it takes me hours. And how many Sundays do I even have that many hours to dedicate to doing that?
Not many during football season.
No, I was just
definitely
gonna say,
not during football season.
You can't. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you are, so I'm not going to go there. And it's so funny you say that too, because the people that I see meal prepping, and I'm a little jealous, I'm not going to lie, it's mostly men They will go out on the grill, cook the chicken, get everything ready. And a lot of it is chicken because you can do so much with it, right? And my kids got on me. They're like, just meal prep. And I'm like, sure, when?
Yeah.
They do it. I'm impressed that they want to eat healthier and not, live off McDonald's. I think when you're in college, you only have so many options and money is scarce. So you do what you have to do, right? And so now they want to eat more healthy, but I think we could even do so much more. Like I said, if we did have people are having chickens, people have for eggs, God only knows what else they have them for. But one of the things going back again, like to San Francisco days when my great grandmother was living in the city, she had chickens and rabbits and she'd just go snap the neck and that was dinner. But that's what they did back then. She had a fig tree, that was her fruit. They had, and I'm like, this is San Francisco. Back then it didn't register,
Right.
but I'm like, this is San Francisco and this is what she did. That's where they lived. That's what they had to make the best of. That's what they did. They had the food on the property.
Right.
You hear about people going to Italy and Europe and how everything is so fresh. That's one of the things I want to do is get there just so I can taste the food and see how different it is from what I've been born and raised on here.
Sure.
And that it's less, they eat so much less than we do out here. So I'm curious to see how all that pans out.
I would love to. It's funny. I've heard that at certain, so like Subway exists over there, right? And they make things as equivalent as possible to stuff that we do here in certain cases. And when they do that, even the bread, they have to label it as cake, like as a pastry, because there's so much sugar if they make it the American way, whereas there, like, it's not the case. I mean, most people, what they're doing in these European countries is they're getting the ingredients that they're going to eat that day at the grocery store, and so it's more of like an almost every day or every other day occurrence to go to the grocery store, pick up, oh, this is what I want to make. Okay, great. I got it. And I'm going to go home and I'm going to make it. And it's not this, oh, I'm going to go to the grocery store for the week and get all this, it's crazy.
We're a country of convenience.
We are. And like the refrigerators, I think, are like little boxes. Like it's very small.
Ice
They don't
chest.
even,
Ice chest, thank
they
you.
don't even refrigerate their milk, right? It's don't need to refrigerate.
It's going to be gone.
It just came from the cow yesterday.
Right. Yep. And we do so much with sugar, and I never realized that until I've watched documentaries on it, and you're just like, oh my God, what did I do,
There's so much sugar in our milk.
Yes.
Our milk. No wonder I drank it by the gallon when I was a child. I was drinking so much milk. So much milk.
I was told that it was good for you.
Yeah.
Right. Got milk.
And dairy, cheese. My mom used to always say, cheese is a really good snack for you. No wonder I'm addicted to it. But it's not, it's dairy. You're not really supposed to have that much dairy. And even like when you look at some of cold meats and things that you eat, they're all heavily processed. I love salami, but it's really bad for you.
I love salami.
Oh, yeah. I think I might have to go to Italy just to get that, just to see what it's like.
I definitely want to go back to Europe.
Yeah.
Have you been to Europe?
It's
no?
on my,
Where in Europe?
Well, I'd like to go to Italy.
List?
Yeah, my
Italy?
mother's from Lucca.
Okay.
So northern side, so that's where I really want to go first. I have a friend there right now. I'm jealous. She's been posting pictures. So yeah, that's on my list. Ireland, obviously, I want to go there as well. My father's from there. I would like to go to Greece, Spain. I just want to go experience it.
Go over there.
And I also hear so many people wanting to move there, especially my generation.
Yeah.
Like, let's just go. It would be so much cheaper than here. And we know that, right? We pay for the sunshine here, and we pay for the weather and the conveniences that we have. But I would love to just see a slower pace of life. I think that's of huge interest to me. And they take naps during the day there, from what I heard.
A little siesta.
Wow, can I take a nap in the middle of the day? I can't do that here. It's not possible. You think your life changes too, like as you get older and raise the kids, and then you're like, I'm gonna have so much more time. You don't. It's just a different.
Well, so we've had
mix.
conversations about just your work habits and
bad work habits. Really bad work habits.
How are you navigating that? Because it sounds like even if you moved over there, like knowing you, like
pull out the computer.
Yeah, this is going to be like, I'm eating a little bit healthier, but you're going to work the same in a different location.
Yeah, and I'm terrible about it. I don't understand. I didn't grow up with work-life balance. I grew up with work.
Mm-hmm.
And the harder you worked, the more productive you were, the better you were going to get a pay raise, everything was good, right? I think I do really enjoy documentaries, so I think I would probably dive into that. And then just learning more, using those technology tools to learn and not do as much. Because, anytime there's no one around and I don't have something to do, I'll be like, well, this is great. I can knock this out and I won't have to do it on Monday. And I'm sure you guys work from home, right? Mm-hmm. And the type of work you're in, it's really nonstop. It doesn't have a break because you guys have events and things, and then you're planning for the next year, right?
Yep.
It's so hard. I'm envious of my kids' generation that they really have navigated how to put that into place. Like, not doing it. I would never say that. I would be like, you just do it. You just do it. It's crazy to me how they've really wanted that work-life balance, and I think it'll be a huge change in the workforce when all those kids are finally in and some of us are moving out. What that's going to be like for them, because I know my generation definitely, they're lazy, they don't do anything. Are you kidding me? But it's not. They have a different appreciation for what work should be.
Well, I think there's a different definition of what hard work is, right? And we've talked about this in some of the groups around, if I ask you that versus if I ask your sons that,
100%.
like, I'm going to get a very different definition just from my perspective of being in multiple groups and kind of having that discussion. Most people in your case are going to say hard work is I'm going to do what I need to do to get the job done. I'm not going to question it. I have to stay late. I'm going to stay late. But I'm going to do whatever it takes to do the job, because that's what my job is. If I ask someone in their 20s or early 30s, but like definitely like Gen
20s,
Z, 20s for sure. Hard work is going to be the things that I don't like to do at my job.
Right.
So it's like, I don't like email.
Right.
So email is hard work. Right. And literally like someone like you is going to laugh at that and go, that's not even my job.
Yeah. Why do I have to do this? You have to answer the email that comes in or the Teams message or whatever. It is interesting to see the difference of how much the pendulum has swung the other way.
And to your point, like, good on the kids to be like,
very much so.
Though there are boundaries, I'm going to draw a boundary, and you don't get, I'm not a slave. I respect and I appreciate that.
Right.
And there's a part of like, we need to get this done.
Right.
So where can we meet in the middle on, like I hear what you're doing, but like, we hired you to do the thing. So you don't get all the power.
Nope.
And they want a lot of people want the power.
Right? And they're very efficient at the way they do things. I'm always very surprised. I shouldn't be, because it's like, oh yeah, that was actually a better way of doing it. So it's an eye-opening experience, or what they call those aha moments, where I'm like, well, I am doing it wrong. And you're right. We did everything without question.
Yeah.
There was no discussing it. We were told not to question it. And thankfully that has changed. People question a lot nowadays, and they ask questions. And I think you have to do that, otherwise we would still all be in this. I mean, my dad used to work sometimes. He never came home late.
Right. Well, that's the other. So go back a generation further, and there was no computer.
No.
Right. Beginning of your career, there was. I go into the office. And the job is only at the office. There's no phone to contact me by. There's no computer. There's nothing I'm going to take home over the weekend to make sure that I can get done. So now I have more access, and that's part of the problem for sure.
We're accessible. Well, we make ourselves or allow ourselves to be accessible 24/7. And
some people do.
I'm guilty. You are so right, Eric. And that's why I don't want to carry two phones. That's what most people do.
The two phone thing, like, I don't understand. Like,
no, I can't do that. There's a way of shutting off your phone.
I saw someone with three once, and I was like, "What? How would tell me?" I have so many questions.
No, don't tell me. Just shh.
No, I can only do one, and if it breaks, it breaks. Whether I throw it or it just dies. But I really feel as though that accessibility, and that's one of the reasons. So when my father retired, that is right when computers were becoming prevalent in his industry. And he decided, I think he was 65, maybe.
Yeah.
He just turned 65. He's like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, I'm good.
He left. He got out before he had to. There is a point, though, too, aside from the accessibility, that is good for them, especially as they get older. They have access to information. Like right now, my parents have zero technology in their house. We've talked about that, which is crazy.
Sounds amazing.
It is, but like
I'm
my
sure
mom, they get
not
bored.
the most convenient.
Well, they're bored. All they have is a TV.
Yeah.
And that's by their choice. There's other things to do. But not having like accessibility to things like their medical charts. They've literally been forced. They're going to be forced when their doctor retires, because it'll all go online and they don't have a computer.
Right.
So they'll have to give myself or my brother access, which I know they don't want to, but that is the way it works. And so like my mom always says, she's like, we've outlived this place. Like we're done. It's all good if we go tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of that. So I try to be cognizant of it because I know how much she hates technology. So
well,
I'm like,
I think there's a version of that that's going to happen with AI.
Absolutely.
Like, my parents are like 2 to 3 years from retiring, and I'm like, that's a good timeline.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's going to get really crazy. And
it is going to get crazy.
There are things now that I feel behind. And I'm
100%. 100%.
I keep seeing that because they keep saying on the AI and on the Chat GPT, well, if all you do is that, then you're not using it right. I'm like, that's all I do because I got to get stuff out the door. So it's helped my life tremendously. But I also look at it as, I'll be able to retire a lot sooner because there's parts of my job that won't be required anymore, that can be fully and completely automated.
Right.
You can't replace the human touch. I get that. But what jobs are going to still be around for that you have to have it, right?
Yeah, there will be, in the short to medium term, there will be a need for humans, and there will be need for what you do on the relationship side.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
That will be relevant for a while still, and there's going to be a lot of stuff that, again, like, so if I ask a younger person, like the hard work part, the things I don't want to do, like most of that will be replaced.
Completely automated,
and I'll be able to do the things that I'm hopefully that I enjoy and good at. But the people that I feel like they're in trouble are like the ones that hate interacting with humans and are trying to find ways to just automate and not have to deal with other humans. That's going to be a problem.
If you were raised in the era, what is it? Is it Gen X, Gen Z? That, like, my son had no phone and then had one, my older one. And then my younger one had a phone. Right. And so he doesn't know any different. Where those of us who, were in certain things at one point and then all of a sudden it changed, we know what life was like before and what it's like now. And so...
that's millennials and Gen Y. Gen Y is so I remember dial up. I remember phones without area codes. Right, it was 7 numbers. Right,
one area code. We had one area code out here, 619. My parents still have it, and then and in North County it changed. But it's crazy. And now the cell phone industry.
How many are there now?
Oh God, there's so many. And then you have all the cell phone prefixes that are I think now there's no more 760s in North County. Okay. So if you get a cell phone, you get like a 442 number. I'm like, that's not happening. So we'll just keep the one I have. So it's interesting how that, and everything up in Northern California, I still remember my grandmother's phone number. Was a 415 number.
But to your point, like there's if I know the difference between before and after, right? It's a different experience versus any kid growing up now. It's like all they know is technology, and I don't know.
And you do have to be careful with it, especially with little kids. And I can't see how many times I go out to dinner and they'll have their kids with them, and these babies are literally
giving it
cell phones,
giving them a slot machine.
Right,
it's insane.
And what it does is they don't have any verbal skills, so they're behind. And then you've got all these kids that are going to have to go on IEPs because they can't speak. And it's really sad because going back to when I was younger and I would just sit at the table and absorb, you could have conversation. We just don't have that enough nowadays.
To kind of tie that and kind of wrap that all, tie this all together is, I mean, to go back to that conversation, you being at the dinner table, as probably frustrating as that was for a 13-year-old, just by the osmosis of being in that room, there were so many things that you picked up and subtle cues that you, without even realize that you were learning, like language, and that part doesn't
Body
exist for all of this remote
like
work.
So much,
It's so hard. One of the main reasons that remote hires are so hard to train is because they miss
that.
A bunch of stuff that actually was never part of the training, but it was just picked up. And like being able to just walk into a room or just overhearing Sharon on the phone use a certain type of language to describe a product or to describe a service. I just got that.
And I think
like, let me try that on.
Yes, and I think that's why companies now are wanting people back in the office more. And, you know, I think many are fighting it, but...
The toothpaste is out of the tube, though.
Yeah,
and
they're going to have to deal with a hybrid thing. Like, the force thing, I don't think is going to work long term. That's just my opinion.
Not with all this generation of, they're
productive.
Gave them, I'm going to be more productive without, so what's it matter? But there's a missing piece there.
There's so much missing, and then, of course, you start thinking then there's more cars on the roadway, and you have to, especially where we live, it's like, I don't want more people on the roads.
Right.
I want less people on the roads. If we could go back to COVID days when there was
nobody
on the road, I was having a really good time if I had to drive out to my parents' house. You know, it was 20 minutes instead of double that, right?
Yeah.
I do see that as being a difficult. We have to figure out how we're all going to absorb everything.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting in the coming years for sure.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think my optimism is less optimistic and excited for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I don't know what side of the coin I should pick at this point.
I'm optimistic, and I'm going to keep being optimistic, and especially with the type of business that we have. I'm like,
God, yes.
I feel good. I feel good about what's coming, and if anything, I'm optimistic that because of the things that are going to come from AI, it allows even more time for human-to-human connection. So that's where I'm going to stand on that.
100%. No, I agree with you on that.
I'm very cautious, and like I could see it going dark fast, and I don't
Really?
think people understand how exponential the growth curve is. When an AI can start developing itself and copy itself, the power goes from, if it's all of a sudden I have, my IQ goes from like 50 points.
I see what you're
with
saying.
an AI to, well, this AI is now producing all these AIs to get better, and then it turns into, that gets really fast, really quick, and it gets a little scary. So that's the part of it for me.
The power behind it.
Just the exponential part of it. It could go from like,
I mean, look at how much it's been developed so quickly with so many people using it. It's pretty accurate.
It's learned a lot. So we'll see.
In terms of a reinforcement for this conversation, the way we started was checking around the week, I guess, what, in one word or a couple words, like how would describe the feeling from this conversation? How would each of us describe?
You go for it. I have to think about that. I have so many words.
Yeah, I'm honestly sitting with grateful and vulnerability, like those two words, because I appreciate you for being open, right? Even just talking about we went down a path of health and babies and right, so many things that came up. So I appreciate the willingness to be open on the conversation, and that's where I'm sitting.
Yeah, I think mine is grateful. It's gratitude, but like for the human connection part.
100%. If more people could do this and put the message out there and let people listen, I think we would learn so much about each other, about what things were like, instead of having to pick up a book or go to a class on it. You can learn so much from each other. So I'm very grateful for the relationship side of it. Obviously, it's what I live for.
Yeah.
I do. I love that side of life, and it's really cool. I just love that you guys came to San Diego and started what you did, and it's grown so much, and I love to see that.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for being on here and just being open and sharing your experience of
I love this.
of life, and
It's not over yet.
Someone told us a few people were like, once you guys get to 5 years, you can say local. And this year, December will be 5 years.
Is it really?
Yeah, it'll be 5 years in San Diego.
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
how true the
wild.
local thing is, but I'm like,
Well,
I'll take that. It feels like home at this point.
We
Yeah.
are such a melting pot here in San Diego that, people come and go all the time, so you can say
Yeah.
you're local.
Yeah.
I mean, you certainly have
Well,
more friends than I do.
That was the whole thing. And they're like, once you get to 5 years, I trust that you're going to be here. You're
here to
in it.
stay.
You're not going
You're
to
in
be
it.
taken off
You're
anytime
not,
soon.
because it's such
Yeah.
a transient city,
Yeah.
right?
Very much so. I mean, I know, actually, it was my younger son's girlfriend who is from the state of Washington. Her parents are very familiar with the area because her mom was military child and they were stationed here.
Yeah.
And her father is actually buried at Rosecrans because he loved it here so much. So how cool is that this is where he chose for his final resting
This
place.
became home.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We like it here.
Yeah.
We like
It's
it.
We're
cool.
staying.
I know, though. I definitely like Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to go.
Yeah, I need to get there.
We'll have
I
to do
need
it.
to
We'll
visit
have to.
some
We'll have to
family.
do it if you want to do Chicago, right? 6 degrees. Trip.
Oh, I want to do a 6-degree Chicago trip. That would be
fun.
so sick.
That's what you guys should do.
Yeah, it would
just
be
started-
sick.
You've already thought of it, but how fun would that be?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's been something we've talked about for the last couple of years.
We'll do it at some point.
I mean,
We'll
we
get
could
there.
go to
We'll get
Kansas
there.
City too.
yeah.
We could, yeah. I mean, I'd
Football.
barbecue. Let's do a whole barbecue
Football.
tour, and I mean, obviously, it would be during football season.
Oh, I just had an idea, but we'll talk about it.
TBD on that one.
Yeah. No, thank you
Awesome.
so much.
Yeah, thank you. This was lovely.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
What do you want to dive?
Little dive.
Off
Okay.
off the deep end, diving
dive.
deep from the diving board.
So I do want to ask. We are into November, and
I believe so. I believe that is accurate.
So you just did Sober October.
I did.
And we talk about this on the episode with Sharon. We talk a lot about just health and some of the societal norms and drinking, how that's evolved. And
Yeah.
so how are you feeling now into November? I mean, I think it's only been a couple of times in this month that I've seen you have something to drink, but certainly not some of the other, or I don't know, I guess like just some of the habits that you and I could easily fall into, and that hasn't happened. How are you feeling this year?
Yeah, I think every year I've done Sober October, I think it's been about 10 years. I think it was 27 was the first time I started doing it. So every year that I've done it, it kind of gets closer and closer to just like, what if I just keep going?
Yeah.
And I think even last year with the holiday party and what we were doing, I remember last year kind of being similar. It was like, it just kind of lasted until the holiday party.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this year, so how am I feeling? I feel great, right? I think it's very apparent how, as someone that has dealt with depression, deals with depression, the relationship between alcohol and what I've realized more this time around than in the past is when I drink too much, and it's easy we talk about the good time gates, when the good time dates are open, and I just I just have 3 turns into 4 into 5 into 6, and I have a couple days of that. What happens for me is I don't have control of my thoughts. So the dark, just kind of very self-inflicted, the very nasty, all these things that are kind of inside of me about myself, they're louder, and I'm not able to kind of calm them down and quiet them and do whatever I need to do to not have that be the kind of what's happening in my brain. So yeah, this last 40 days or whatever, there was only one day where I had 4 or 5 drinks, and there was one day where I had a couple more than I normally would, and I felt it the next day, and it was more like I didn't feel bad, but I felt off. I felt kind of like the shadow kind of creep in a little bit of like, ooh, you're back. right? So yeah, it's nothing new. I've known it. I just have to be very, very conscious of it's a slippery slope.
Well, yeah, your example of last year too. I mean, what happened after last year's holiday party? It was a pretty deep, like a off the deep end dive for you, right? Like that it didn't go well once we kind of reintroduced alcohol in the negative habits that both of us will fall into.
Yeah, I think there's a mix between it was so there's some stuff, just personal stuff. There was the holiday party went really well, and it was like oh shit, like now what from a business financial standpoint, and mix in the holidays and then mix in reintroducing drinking, and perfect storm of like, yeah, that was a really, probably since we took over the business, probably like some of the like just darkest days I've had.
Yeah.
And there's over the last 4 years, like there's been a handful of them. And I don't remember the timeline on beginning of the year, before the beginning of the year, but I got out of it a little bit. I think I started running, and then I hit my head.
Yeah. I think you were really, I remember like New Year's, you made it a point to start of the new year, which I know that's what so many people do. And then you hit your head. And so it just kind of, it was a huge setback as far as like the good habits that you were in the process of building back up.
Yeah. Well, so I'm trying to remember too last year of if after the holiday party, I was definitely like kind of leading up to it. I was definitely in more of a healthy, like I was in a healthy mind like space. I'm pretty sure I was in waking up early. I had like that routine, and I don't remember what happened after, if that shifted back to, well, that's the other part, is just so like the alcohol piece and the sleep part, and wanting to wake up early and do that. It's so much easier when,
oh my God, it's insane. So this year, when you started Sober October, I just, in my mind, I don't know. I don't know if it was I probably didn't say it out loud because I didn't want to fail at my own thing. And I didn't even necessarily know what kind of boundary on drinking I was wanting to establish for myself. Like, I wasn't sure. But I wanted to also use this time where now there's at least, because it's one of those things where I think you and I both, like, we have the same floodgates. When those fun gates open, we act the same in that environment. So when at least one of us is very much like, well, no, I'm doing Sober October, so there is zero alcohol right now, it definitely makes it easier for me to just choose no drinking over having a drink.
Sure. Well, I think it's this year was a really magnifying glass on how much like my mood, the things that I'm doing, not that it necessarily like changes anything for you, but I think it ripples, right?
Sure.
I think the energy that I have, me waking up, and some of the just workout habits, and like versus when that's not happening, and me being in dark clouds every like once a week or whatever it is, that has a weight to it.
Yeah.
And that has that our environments impact us. So like, am I positively contributing to this environment, or am I not?
Yeah.
And I think when I'm drinking, I'm less conscious of that. I'm less aware. I'm less. I'm even less willing to like make it positive.
Right. Well, and I mean, like, I totally hear you. Like, there are energies, and that makes a lot of sense. And there is codependency showing up, obviously, on my end, right? I shouldn't have to.
Yeah, I'm not responsible for that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And I see it. And
yeah.
Right. It's, I mean, something that we've talked about a lot of, and this is like the codependency part, but like you have said, I'm someone that I like compliments. Or my love language is praise or whatever that one is.
Words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation.
Compliments
and praise. Words of affirmation.
All hail Christina.
We've talked about, apparently not enough. And I think so that I don't know why my brain goes there, but like part of that, there's part of me that's like I don't want you to be codependent on me to give that to you. That's an external validation piece. And as someone that loves you and knows that that's a button that I can push that would help you, it would probably be healthy for me to do that.
It's not about, but that's okay. So that's an interesting thing that you just said, because it's not about help me. That's how, like, I feel love, right? So when there is a positive comment, it's not and it doesn't have to be about looks, right? It's like, I'm so proud of you, or I appreciate you, or right. It's those types of comments that's where I'm feeling the love, right? But it's not about like I need them for help for how I'm thinking about the way that my body looks today.
Yeah, and I'm not talking specifically like physical, right?
Sure.
I guess but it's still an external thing.
Yeah.
So where do you get that from if you're not feeling love?
Well,
where does that manifest inside of Christina?
So this is a really good. Okay. So what you said a few minutes ago about noticing that if you, Eric, is not getting up and the workouts and all of that, well, yeah, this past month, both of us have been in really good habits of working out and being active and doing and in healthier habits than we have before, and whatever.
Yeah, I've had like 2 waves of versions of this, and this is a good wave.
Yeah, and so how it's showing up for me now on my own is I am criticizing my own body less, because I feel better and stronger because I am getting up and working out and doing the activities that are going to release the endorphins and all of that. So I think I think the answer to your question is baked into like, what are the habits that we're each supporting for each other, and how can we both be mindful of continuing in healthier habits for each of us.
Sure. Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's, how do I support and not rescue, right?
Sure. But I think supporting is more just the more that you are taking care of yourself, the more that supports, and that's not rescuing. It's you taking care of your own health.
100%. Yeah. The answer to that question is like, I have to take care of me first. I have to put myself first.
Yeah, and same here. I have to do the exact same thing.
Yeah. And I think that's what has stood out to me the last month is like, by doing that, it has been beneficial to both of us on both sides. Yep. Right? Yeah, so it's been a good, healthy, 45 days or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Overall.
It's been, for me, it's been really cool to experience like how easy it's been to say no to alcohol when I choose. I'm not drinking today. Like, I'm just not. Like, today I don't want to. And so there have been multiple times where I've been in social environments and situations and I've said, no, I chose not to today, so I'm not going to. And what the fuck is happening anytime the fun gates do open? Why can't I close that gate?
That's called alcohol. That's literally what it does.
It's like literally designed to make me continue to drink it. I'm like, what do you want from me?
That's what it does.
What do you want from me?
Yeah, the other part that I'll say, just with drinking, and to me, it's like whether you drink or you don't drink, and whether you struggle with it, like it's a depressant. It can be an very addictive depressant. Misery loves company, and alcohol is one of the best places to find company if you're miserable. And all of that being said like kind of the way we started is like it's a slippery slope. And I get why certain people say, yeah, I don't have control over it, right?
Right. Yeah.
The good time gate part, we joke kind of tongue in cheek that, but like that's, some people have that and it literally ruins their life, right?
Well, I mean, it's really showing the lack of control even with us when we have drinks,
Yeah.
right? Like, because there are plenty of people that I know that can have a glass of wine, just one, and just like that, they're just sipping on it while they're, and
you do that. You just, it's the quantity is one bottle. I've known you for 8 years now. I've never seen you have one glass of wine. If we are opening a bottle, if there's a bottle that we're
open, like what are we gonna do? It
lasts like 3 days.
It doesn't. Yeah, see, this is the part that, but like, I mean, but it has been like, it's been a really good month, and I just really, I think it's been a while since I have felt this good for this long, where like something hasn't broken that cycle.
Yeah.
And that's not to say like there was several days throughout the month that I was like, no, today I'm going to have a fun Sunday fun day. Like
Yeah.
I said, I'm fully committing to that. And I know what that means. I know what that entails. I'm prepared for it. And I am, so there's times where I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it that day, and then I'm not gonna do it for the rest of the week, and that's what I'm choosing. So it has been a really healthy kind of, I think, reset for both of us, and so my hope is just that we can continue that and
yeah. Well, I think good for you, and I genuinely mean good for you. Like,
yeah, not in a sarcastic way.
Like that's great
Yes.
that you're able to kind of pick and choose your spots to have fun and enjoy. I think the two things I'll say is, so one, I think like too much of anything isn't good, and alcohol, for all as much as it can be poison and all this stuff, and the negative sides of it is it can be a lubricant for connection.
Mm-hmm.
It can get me relaxed. It can get me to cut, like it can take the edge off. Like there are benefits to it. And so much of, I think the thought of like, well, is this good for me? Is it bad for me? And like the approach that I have to it, I'm going to have a fun Sunday fun day by myself and drink, and it's going to be great. Probably going to have a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Versus what will happen to me is I start drinking and start focusing on all the negative things that are happening. And that turns into a cloud.
Sure.
The second part, and I shared this with you, I think we might have talked about it at some level, but the most dangerous time for me to be drinking is after something goes really well.
Mm-hmm.
That's the scariest. If we just did an event, if we just did something that went amazing,
mm-hmm.
what I've learned is I want to celebrate that and almost self-sabotage myself, or almost in a sabotaging way. That it's like I'm feeling too good, and what alcohol becomes is a way for me to not feel this good. It becomes a numbing agent, and it's like I'm not allowed. I don't think I'm allowed to feel this.
Well, yeah, your body, your brain, your subconscious is trying to protect itself from something that is unfamiliar, and this is a new thing that what is this experience? And what I know really well is the self-sabotage part. It's the other side of it, right? And like that part is more comfortable because I know how to operate there,
mm-hmm.
right? So we've talked about that with both Rudy and Corinne, and yeah, that is, it's nothing. It's not on you by any means. It's a bummer because I want to celebrate the hell out of whatever the thing is. The next day, do I feel like absolute garbage? Sure, totally. Like physically, I don't feel good, but I don't pull myself into. I don't have the same experience that you do.
Yeah, I think part of that is I've been drinking since I was 13.
Right.
Right, and so that this thing is rooted way deeper than you.
Sure.
you starting to drink at 21 or whatever it was?
18.
19, whatever.
Yeah. I don't know.
You were, but even
I don't know.
like
It was,
very different journey for you than
yeah,
me.
no, it was for fun.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It was very much a coping mechanism for me.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think, yeah, that was the second part
Yeah.
of what I was going to say.
No, I mean, and it's a really valid point. And you know what? I think just this awareness piece in this conversation as we're leading into literally our biggest event, and usually one of those big successful moments that ends up in that same self-sabotage journey. So
Yeah.
how do we shift it?
And for the record, I mean, if I'm ever celebrating something, I'm fun to be around. You won't see it.
Oh, no. People don't see it.
The dark side is
No.
me at home.
People have no idea what that looks
private.
like. I mean, unless they experience it in their own life and with their own loved ones,
Yeah.
and they know what that looks like. But to look at you, I mean, that was part of a huge learning process for even me in our marriage, because I didn't see it before. So, no, yeah, it'll be very fun, Eric. And that's not to say if you see very fun Eric having a drink and having a good time that means it's going to lead to like the dark hole or anything like that, because
Yeah.
I don't want people to also be concerned about any time that you have a drink in your hand. It's not like that at all.
No, and I appreciate that, because I know we've talked, like, there's been times of conversations that we've had of like walking on the eggshell conversation of like, ooh, like I don't want this. I see you going over the edge, and I don't want that to be something that it's not. And
yeah, people.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Like, there's no way for you to know like what's the simple answer is don't drink, right?
Sure.
Safest way to do it.
Yeah.
And I like to live on the edge, so we're gonna keep playing. We're gonna keep rolling the dice and playing the cards.
All right, bub. Let's go not have a drink together.
All right, put her there.
Put her there.
Put her there, bub.